Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I am streaming to you from beautiful Central Europe, capital city of Hungary, Budapest. I hope everybody has had a great start to their work week. Hi, Noor Mohammed. Hi, Caddy. Hi, Tina. Hi, Kyber. Hi, Burke. Hi, I'm Lewis. Cindy. Laughing, having some fun. All right, everyone. Today, IELTS speaking part 1. We will do some practice and I will discuss some strategy with you on how to get those higher band scores. Hi, Bagzad. Good to see our members coming in. Wonderful to see so many students. Our materials come from our websites, aehelp.com for the academic version of the test and gieltshelp.com for the general version. We like to keep these two separate. That's why we have two websites, because general is a little bit different than academic, and the target market is very different. General students, they're doing it for immigration, as where academic students are doing it for school in most cases. The website students, they look like this. This is the academic website. Click that red button to join there at aehelp.com. This is the general version of the website with the green background. Click that red button to join there. Hi, Ferdovs. Hi, Amarjeet. Hi, Gurkarat. And hi, Parminder. Good to see more members in. And of course, good to see everybody else. All right. Students, this is the start to another week of live streaming. You can send me questions, comments about IELTS or our products to Adrian, Adrian, at aehelp.com. And this is what our schedule looks like. I will also post this in our community board. Today, speaking part 1. Tomorrow, we will have a members chat task 1 with a diagram. Then we will have a task 2 for everybody, and then later in the week we'll have some more speaking, task 2, some question and answer session. This is a new one for members, so take note of that, question and answer session, and then finish the week with a speaking part 3 on Saturday. All right, let's get into warming up our English speaking muscles so you get to the speaking interview of your IELTS exam. The speaking is separate from the other 3 sections, okay? Whether you're doing the computer-based exam or the paper-based exam, the speaking is the same, okay? The IELTS decided that for speaking, it has to be a live interview, not like TOEFL, which is through the computer. So whether you're a general student for the IELTS, an academic student, whether you're computer-based or paper-based, the speaking is the same, okay? All right. So, you walk into the exam room and immediately you will be greeted by a native speaker of English, or these days sometimes you will be greeted by a very high level speaker, close to native speaker of English, that might be originally from a different background. All right, so this is speaking, students, so repeat after me. Repeat the questions, repeat the answers. Practice your speaking as much as possible. Okay, so actually speak. Don't be shy, all right? One of the most important aspects to a high band score on the speaking section is be confident. And always practice confidence, okay? So don't just think, oh, when I get to the exam, I will be confident. Confidence comes with practice, just like all other skills in life. So practice as much as you can. Speak nice and loud. Here we go. You walk into the exam room. The examiner will ask for your passport. For that, you can say, sure, here you are, or here it is. And then the next question is, what is your full name? So what is your full name? Again, students, always practice different ways to answer this, just so you sound natural and fluent right away. Monica says, my name's Monica Lama. That's good, Monica. It's simple. They will always ask you what they should call you, so you should include that in your answer. Randa says, my name is Randa Benmaza, but you can call me Dada. Nice to meet you. Randa, I like it. Okay, so you have your nickname in there and you include a greeting. I like it. Okay, I'll take that. So it's a good one. It's a good way to begin. All right. So my name is, let me just get back to that one. I'll just, yep, there it is. My name is Randa Benmaza. Benmaza, but you can call me Dada. Nice to meet you. Yeah, that's a good way. It's simple, straightforward, includes your nickname. It's clear, absolutely. Okay, I see lots of other different comments in the chat. Those work fantastic. Again, students, remember to say it, not just write it. So writing is great, saying it is excellent. So do both, all right? Okay, and then another question. So these are just the icebreaker questions, and it's common for the examiner to ask a couple of these questions. There is no hard rule for the examiner on what they can ask you. There is just hard rules about how they can mark you, okay? So expect the unexpected. They can ask you any kind of question. So here is the follow-up. What do you do in your free time? Again, repeat after me. What do you do in your free time? Okay, practice questions, not just answers. Okay, what do you do in your free time? Gurkarat, you're jumping way ahead. Let's stick to the questions that we're targeting, okay? Begzod says, well, in my leisure time, I not only love to hang out with my friends, but also read my favorite novels. Like last Sunday, I finished Lord of the Rings, and I really enjoyed it. Begzod, that's excellent. Just careful with hangout, not hung out. Hangout because it's general, right? You do it all the time. Preet Kaur says, sir, my speaking exam was on the 1st of July, and the cue card was talk about a person who speaks a foreign language. Well, thanks for your help. Preet, thank you for the feedback. Yep, I heard about that card. We definitely talked a lot about describing people, but that's a different class. That's for part 2. Okay, Yogesh Pasnet says, I love reading books in my free time. Why, Yagnesh? Why do you like reading books in your free time? And can you give me an example of a book that you've read? So again, to show your fluency, students, you don't have to speak super, super fast, and you don't have to use a lot of complicated words. You just need to answer, explain, and give an example. Okay? Arun Mala says, I used to love reading books and watching comics because I want to increase my intelligence and intellectual. Arun, that's a little bit awkward. Don't use used to. This is present general tense. What do you do in your free time? So it means what do you usually do? If you say I used to, it means you don't do that anymore, and that doesn't make sense. Okay? Gurkrat says, I mostly play badminton in my spare time. Generally, I play this game with my friends at the village sports center. Hung says, I usually go work out at the gym in my leisure time, just like yesterday when I went lifted some weights to release some pressure. Okay, again, students, remember, pay attention to your tenses. Present tense, stay in present tense. If you start jumping around with your tenses saying used to, or this is what I did in the past in my free time, you're losing band scores. You're not reflecting the question. So be really careful, all right? When I have a bit of extra time, I like to curl up with a fantasy novel, as it helps me escape the pressures of everyday life these days. I'm reading The Life of Pi. All right, just make one up. There is a nice high band level answer for you, okay? This contains all of the elements to get a band 9. It gives the answer, it gives an explanation of why I do it, it gives an example, it's smooth, it's using natural language, it's using expressions that native speakers use. So to get those top marks, this is what you need to do. Repeat after me. What do you do in your free time? When I have a bit of extra time, I like to curl up with a fantasy novel as it helps me escape the pressures of everyday life. These days, I'm reading The Life of Pi. All right? Curl up, Tina, it's an expression used when we curl up in front of the TV or curl up with a good book. It means your body you curl up and you're kind of snuggled up reading a book or watching the TV, okay? Good question, Tina. I'm always pushing students to learn new expressions, collocations, phrasal verbs. Use them once you have mastered them. Please never use an idiom that you are not sure is correct in context. If you use idioms incorrectly in the speaking, your band score goes down. Do you know why? So if you use an idiom in an incorrect way or even in an awkward way, in a strange way, your band score will go down in the exam. Do you know why? Why does that happen? Why will the examiner take marks mostly for incorrect use of an idiom? What do you think is the logic there? What happens when a student tries to use an idiom, but suddenly it's a wah, 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 and they got it wrong? Okay. While you tell me the answer, I'll look at Gurkarat's response. Gurkarat says, firstly, I took the bus from my village. Gurkarat, you're still jumping ahead. Pace yourself, Gurkarat. Stay on the question that we're at, okay? Bagzad says, because idioms have a lot of meanings. Drav Tarpara says, because they didn't understand the grammar or the context. Okay. Gunka, yes, pressure is countable in this context. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Juan Pablo Avila says, it affects coherence. Yes, Juan Pablo, you're right. Idioms that are used incorrectly in speaking greatly affect coherence. It means the ability to understand what you're saying. Idioms are clear only when used correctly. If used incorrectly, it makes it very difficult, sometimes impossible, to understand what the person's actually thinking. So be very, very careful. Okay? There we go, Gurkarat. When I have some leisure time after studies, I read Punjabi novels. For instance, last week, I read a novel recently written by a prominent Punjabi writer, Surjit Pater. The name of this is White Blood. Gurkarat, that's a much better answer. There you go with the band 9. All right, and now we'll go to the next question. How did you get to this exam today? Okay, yeah, this question could come at you in this icebreaker, part of the part 1 speaking. Again, they always try to be natural with the questions, especially in the icebreaker, as much as possible to get natural language from you. With the icebreaker questions, the examiner is kind of checking to see whether you just try to memorize a lot of English or you're using true English. Okay? So Bagzad says, or let's go to Ferdavs. Yeah, Ferdavs, there we go. Members are easy to catch. Their names are in green. Ferdavs says, I got to this test by my car, a Skoda Rapid, and it took about 40 minutes because of traffic jams. Really nice for Dobbs. I love how you threw the vocabulary traffic jams in there just to show that you're really able to communicate. Very good for Dobbs. That's the goal. Okay, just keep speaking for Dobbs. Speak as much as possible. Bagzod says, I commuted by subway to this exam as the test center is very close to the station. It took me just around 15 minutes in the tube and another 2 minutes on foot. Bagzod, I changed a tiny bit, added a little bit to make it more natural. Okay? And Gurkharad, I know you've been waiting for this, so I will read it. Firstly, I took the bus from my village, and then after reaching Jalandhar, I again got a cab, and that's how I got here. Okay, Gurkharad, car, what do you mean auto? Your friend drove you, you took a cab or a taxi, so what do you mean? Alvina, good to see you in class. It helps me escape the pressures of life. Is it correct? Yes, it is, Alvina, absolutely. Okay. Hung says, well, I took the bus to the English Center this morning. It takes me about an hour to get here. No traffic jams. It was smooth sailing. There's an idiom Hung used correctly in that context. It was smooth sailing. Usually that refers, of course, to the sailboat on water. But when something goes easily, we say smooth sailing. All right? Well, I hopped on the number 4 bus and took it for about 15 minutes, 5 stops to be exact. Got off here at the exam, or close to the exam center, and walked the last few hundred meters, let's call it last 100 meters on foot. All right, so there is my response. Again, students, repeat after me. How did you get to this exam today? Well, I hopped on the number 4 bus and I took it for about 15 minutes, 5 stops to be exact. Got off here close to the exam center and walked the last 100 meters on foot. Okay, notice what I'm doing here to, again, increase those band scores is I'm using some quantitative language. Quantitative language creates effective, clear communication, okay? Remember, students, the IELTS is not just testing your English, it is also testing your thinking and your ability to communicate clearly and effectively using English. One way to do that is to include quantitative language, meaning numbers. 15 minutes, 5 stops, 100 meters, okay? Number 4 bus. That's all quantitative information. It's very, very clear for the listener. In fact, they can probably get to your house or very close to it by the information that you just gave them, okay? So you need to keep that in mind. Practice quantitative communication in your everyday life, even in your own language. So whether you're speaking Hindi, Punjabi, Mandarin, German, French, Spanish, Italian, use quantitative information. Try to use numbers more often in your everyday life, even in your own language, and you will notice that there will be an increase in the quality of communication and the quality of life as a result, okay? People will understand you better, they will respond more clearly, you will reach your goals more effectively. So, I don't want to make the world into robots. That's not my goal, all right? So, I took 343 steps to get to this exam center. It took me exactly 15.43 seconds and 17 minutes. So, no, that's not my goal. I don't want you to become a robot. I just want you to become a clear communicator, okay? And for that, quantitative language is good, okay? It's good to practice, all right? Okay, so that's your warm-up questions. That's your icebreakers. You're feeling comfortable, confident, and you're making good eye contact with the examiner. That's important for confidence and fluency. And then the examiner will continue with some more questions. They will say, all right, now for part one, I will ask you some more questions on a general topic. Let's talk about languages. Okay? Keep it easy, keep it simple. Amarjeet, I've missed your answer. Don't worry about it. I'll check your next one, I promise. Okay? And here we go. So let's talk about languages. First question, why do people learn languages? Give me a good answer. Give me a nice, clear answer for this question. Okay, so answer, explain, example. This is very good. It's a very good question for this type of structure. Okay, why do people learn languages? All right, here we go. I see lots of great answers coming up. Ferdov says, nowadays, many individuals have to learn a second and third language because of globalization, and one more reason people should learn languages is migration. Sure, Ferdovs. All right. Rhonda says, people learn languages because it helps them in their life. For example, if they want to travel or to have conversations with more people. Okay. Pachu says, people learn languages for different purposes, such as for better communication, for career, and understanding other cultures, as well as doing business. Okay, good, Pachu. Can you give me an example of that? My father speaks English, so he can do international trade, right? So just throw that in there, Pachu. Bagzod says, well, studying abroad and job opportunities are two primary reasons why most individuals want to master a foreign language. Like me, I'm passing this exam so as to meet my admission requirements for university. Very nice, Bagzod. Really nice response. Again, copy the responses of your peers, students. There are some really good answers, okay? All right. Silin Wang says, I think the most important reason why people study a language is to acquire a tool to communicate with a broader range of people. Also, people want to study abroad and immigrate. In these cases, they need to speak foreign language as well. All right, there's some good answers there. Reba says, mostly people learn languages to improve their communication abilities. Right, Reba? Give me an example. Ani says, actually, there may be various answers to this question because it's different from person to person, but to speak generally, whoa, Anis, way too much lead up, okay? Students, don't do that. Don't do major lead-ins like that. So Anis, try to get to the point a little bit faster. Okay, it's better to get to the point quickly and then elaborate than to talk a lot about there's various reasons why people learn languages. It depends from person to person. So that's a lot of like, okay, just get to the point, right? So Anis, get to the point. Okay, a little bit faster. I'm not picking on you, but it's really important to get the higher band scores. All right? All right, Mr. Cooper says, people learn languages to communicate with other people and learn their cultures. I love to travel. I speak 2-3 languages, Spanish, Italian, and French, because it helps me to learn the cultures of many countries, such as, okay? So, Mr. Cooper, it's a good answer. Just give me a little bit more so I can give you a nice high score for fluency and coherence. The two primary reasons why most people acquire a second language are work and travel. In fact, I'm learning English to develop my international trading company as well. I take at least one trip abroad each year when it is very useful to use English. Okay, so I've given a little bit of a simpler answer here, but yet you will still get a nice high band score. Okay, here we go. The two primary reasons why most people acquire a second language. Notice the adjective clause here with why most people acquire a second language are work and travel. In fact, I'm learning English to develop my international trading company as well. I take at least one trip abroad each year when it is very useful to use English. Okay. All right. Next question. Here we go. How often do you use English? Okay, so part one, talking about languages, the questions will be relatively simple. You just have to give some good, clear responses. How often do you use English? Every time you hear often, you need to think adverbs of frequency. Always, often, usually, sometimes, rarely or seldom, and never. Okay, those are the more common ones. Frequently is also okay. You should be using at least one of those adverbs of frequency in your response. The examiner's listening for that. Okay, so give me a nice full answer for that one. Harpreet Singh Dunju says, I use English whenever I have to talk with the person who does not understand my own language. Okay, what is your own language? Tell me that. Is it Punjabi? Is it Hindi? So whenever a person doesn't understand Hindi or Punjabi, however, during teaching pupils, I prefer to talk in English. Okay, Harpreet, don't use the word however, because it's not an opposition, it's an addition. Furthermore. Use furthermore. So one more time, Harpreet. I use English whenever I have to talk with a person who does not understand Hindi or Punjabi. Furthermore, I prefer using English while teaching my pupils because many of them are from other countries. Okay? That would be a little bit better. Tina says, I frequently use English in my daily life, not only for reading books, but also watching movies, and I do this to improve my skills. Very good, Tina. Okay, I love how you're using the correlative conjunction not only, but also, and I love how you're being creative. You're not just thinking of people and using English, but you're thinking of reading books and watching movies, right? That requires using English, not just for speaking, but for comprehension. Very good, Tina. Thinking out of the box allows for more natural responses and higher band scores. Reba says, usually I speak English at my workplace because I talk to patients who are from other countries. Very good. Okay, Hung says, well, I use English daily because I'm working in an international network company. Many people are coming from different countries, such as Japan, Korea, Germany, and for this reason, we have to communicate with each other in English. Okay, very good. All right, Sylvia Chen says, I use English every day, but I just talk to myself and use a shadowing app because there's not a lot of people around me who speak English. Okay, so Sylvia, give me the reason why you use that shadowing app. By the way, good for you for doing that. Why do you do that? Are you shy? You're not confident in your skills yet? Not many people around you to use English? Okay, so explain. Farhan says, not only do I use English for official correspondence, but also to interact with my foreign friends and relatives through WhatsApp and Facebook. Right, Farhan? Very good. All right. So, I always use English at least a few times a day whether it's for communicating with my international friends through online gaming like Call of Duty, or with my colleagues at work. English is a part of my everyday life. All right. So there is my response. And again, just repeat after me. So how often do you use English? I always use English, at least a few times a day. Whether it's for communicating with my international friends through online gaming, like Call of Duty, or with my colleagues at work, English is a part of my everyday life. All right. So again, notice it seems simple, but this is a complex sentence. I'm using whether or, okay, which is a condition. As well, it's a correlative conjunction, whether this or that. So it's a condition, it's complex, and it's a correlative conjunction. All right? So that will be a high band answer, especially with some good fluency. All right. Here we go. Next question. Where do you use English frequently? Give me a nice answer for that one. Where do you use English frequently? Now focus on the you. So this is part one. Part one mostly focuses on you. They're speaking directly to you. Okay? Nur Mohammed Otabaev says, I frequently use English in my English classes. Sure. Okay, that works. It's simple. It works, Nur. Krishna Kuruvella says, I often use English at my work as I'm staying in an English-speaking country and I need to use it to communicate with my coworkers and people around me. Okay, very good. All right. Rhonda says, I frequently use English in my school with my English teachers since my mother tongue is Arabic, and that's what I speak when I'm out of school. Okay, Begzod says, very good, Begzod. You noticed what I was fishing for. Excellent. Begzod, clever, clever. That's exactly what I was hoping to see at least some students come up with. So Begzod says, as I had said previously, at Lyceum, I can have great conversations with my friends to improve my daily use of English. And also, as I work in a foreign company, I have to speak with customers in English. Very good. So what Begzod is doing, students, is he's making a connection among his answers, right? Because the previous question is, how often do you use English? And I said I use it often, and then I give the example of online gaming and using it with my colleagues. So when it says, where do you use English frequently? Here, to be quick, clever, have good cohesion and coherence, what I can do is I can connect information. So what I answer here, this is when and with who, and this is where, right? So where am I when I play online games? I'm at home, in my office, or maybe in my living room, right? So where do I use English frequently? Well, as I had just mentioned, I use it during interactive gaming. Usually, I am in my living room with my headset on, or if I'm using it with my coworkers, it is at the General Electric headquarters here in Budapest, where I work as an engineer. I completely just made that up, but it's the location of my workplace, right? I'm using it with my colleagues. Where is that? I just made this up. It's at, I don't even know if they have a General Electric headquarters in Budapest, but General Electric headquarters here in Budapest, right? So that's the location of where my workers are. And where's the location of where my friends are online while they're, other than the virtual world of the game, they are in my living room with me, right? So again, making connections, making these strong connections among your ideas, it's very, very powerful to increase your band scores. So here we go, students. Repeat after me. Where do you use English frequently? Well, as I had just mentioned, I use it during interactive gaming. Usually I am in my living room with my headset on, or if I'm using it with my coworkers, it is at the General Electric headquarters here in Budapest where I work as an engineer. Now, notice that here I used colleagues and here I used coworkers. So I'm paraphrasing some words as best as I can to show my lexical resource. All right, I'm increasing my lexical resource and getting higher band scores. Now, students, let me just check myself here. How is my speed and how are my explanations? Is everybody understanding what I'm saying? Am I going too quickly, too slowly? Please let me know. It's really important for you to give me feedback. I don't want to lose you in speed and complexity. If it's not, tell me, no, it's too fast, or yeah, maybe go a little slower. Don't be shy, okay? I'd like to get an idea of where the viewers are, okay? Okay, so I'm getting a lot of positive responses, which is okay. Manjit says it's a little intermediate. All right. Okay, not too many people. Don't be shy. If it's too fast, let me know. I can slow it down a bit. All right. Okay, so sounds like it's about the right speed. Good, good. Okay. It's sweet as honey. Thank you, Farhan. All right. So, next question. Who do you speak English to the most? All right, who do you speak English to the most? Maanko Mitra says, I usually talk in English with my friend because we know each other and we have no hesitation making mistakes while speaking. Yeah, Manko, you can also say we don't feel embarrassed when we make mistakes. So one more time, Manko. I usually talk English with my friend because we know each other and we're comfortable and don't feel embarrassed when we make mistakes. Okay, that's good. All right. Juan Pablo says, as I said before, I've made some friends on apps, so I communicate in English more often with my friends who are in the United States. Yesterday we talked for about an hour about design because he also does this. Juan Pablo, very good. Okay, great. Juan Pablo, brilliant. You get my whoosh, super thumbs up. Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping you would realize is this is, again, another question where we can connect. And when you connect, give more detail, right? So, okay, you're talking to your friends through games. Who are your friends? Okay, what's their names? Make up a name. So go into a little bit more detail. Same with your coworkers. Who are they? What do you talk about? So give me a little bit more detail. Don't just say, well, I already said that, so can we just go to the next question? In real life, we might do that, but not in the exam. Juan Pablo, very good. All right, very good. All right. Ha'amu Brar says, certainly I speak English okay, I was a little bit off topic there, I think. Oga George says, I communicate virtually with everyone around me in English, especially my patients and all of my family members. Okay, Oga, that works. Hung says, well, just as I mentioned before, I talked with my coworkers. Surab in English the most because I have to discuss and have normal conversations every day. Yeah, Hung, good. So you talk with your coworker Sarab in English. Why that coworker? Are you working together with him closely on a project? that could be one way to expand that. Okay, so all right. Well, in particular, I have a coworker named Peter, who I use English with all the time, since him and I are the lead managers on a new project. And we are in frequent discourse about its development. Also, online, I have a friend named Charlie who is always in the game at the same time as me. Okay, so again, giving a little bit more detail. So, well, in particular, I have a coworker named Peter who I use English with all the time, since him and I are the lead managers on a new project and we are in frequent discourse about its development. Also online, I have a friend named Charlie who is always in the game at the same time as me. Okay, so making those connections, going into more details, pushing up those band scores. Farhan says, well, that's a unique one. Interestingly, I speak English the most with my 8-year-old daughter. We have a rule that we communicate with each other in none other language than English. Very good, Farhan, and smart for you for doing that. Okay. All right. Krishna Kuruvella says, I mostly communicate in English with my kids as I feel I can teach them new vocabulary daily, and this will be extremely valuable for them in later life when they become university students and find their dream careers. Krishna, very good. By the way, that is a really smart idea, viewers, to use English with your family. I always encourage students to have what's called a family English hour, okay? That means choose an hour in the day. It doesn't have to be 7 days a week, but do at least 5 days a week when you say, okay, from 7 to 8 p.m., everybody can do whatever they want. You don't have to sit at the table and look at each other for an hour. You know, you just live your normal life and speak with each other in English during that 1 hour and take responsibility for each other. So if somebody starts to speak in another language, then say, hey, whoa, wait, it's 7:20, we're still in English hour. Just tell me that in English, okay? So family English hour. English is the global language. It's the language of economy. 95% of all money in the world trades hands using English. So it's a critical tool for success these days for people. So have what's called family English hours. Sit down, establish it, send each other Google invites, especially in the beginning, or have a wall calendar on your fridge, a calendar that just says English hour, 7 to 8 p.m. every Monday through Friday. Okay, so do that. Family English hour. Okay. Very, very important. Here we go, students. Next question. How have learning languages changed? This one here. How have learning languages changed? Begzod says, with the advancements in technology, people have been learning other languages digitally, such as using the PCs, internet, and smartphones for the last 2 decades. In fact, I learned English language using an online course, AE Help. Thank you, Begzod, for that plug for using aehelp.com. We certainly help lots of people learn English for the IELTS exam. Absolutely. Alvina says, as modern technologies are improving every day, it makes it possible to learn foreign languages at home using the internet. You can have online courses with professional teachers or an interactive app on your phone. Fantastic. Yeah, Alvina, very good. Technology, technology, technology. Every time you see have changed, think technology. We live in the information age. Technology is your go-to answer. Just make sure it's natural and original. Okay. Maanko says, due to the development of the internet, the world has become a global village, and many people connect with each other online. Due to the massive communication between people, learning has changed greatly. Bachu says, learning languages has changed a lot for several reasons. Due to the internet and technological development, people are accessing foreign languages in remote areas easier, as well as high caliber teachers and materials. Very good. Very happy to see, students, that many of you are showing the present perfect. Have changed present perfect. You need to use present perfect in your answer. So technology has greatly changed the way people study a foreign language. What I mean is that in the past, people had to attend physical schools. Conversely, these days, nowadays, people can learn languages online and even from software on their phones, like Rosetta Stone, probably the most famous in the world. All right. There we go. Using present perfect. Technology has greatly changed the way people study a foreign language. What I mean is that in the past, people had to attend physical schools. Conversely, nowadays, people can learn languages online and even from software on their phones, like Rosetta Stone. All right. So that is a good answer. Make sure to use the present perfect has or have at least once very clearly. It's a good idea to use it right at the beginning. Technology has greatly changed, or if you want to paraphrase, altered the way people study a foreign language. All right, students, last question for today. If you could learn another language, what would it be and why? It is a conditional. If you could learn another language, what would it be and why? Conditional question. I'd love to see some nice conditional answers for this one. I'll try to read at least a few of yours before wrapping up. So give me your best. Okay? Give me your best. Tayinder Singh says, if I got the chance, I would like to learn Sanskrit because it is an ancient language of India. Moreover, I also want to read the holy scriptures that are written in Sanskrit. Very good. Great answer. Amarjeet Singh says, technology has changed the world's learning system. Mostly people prefer to join online courses. For example, I take IELTS classes from aehelp.com. Amarjeet, that's a great answer for the previous question, and thank you for the plug. Much appreciated. All right. Ekaterina Semkina says, honestly, I have always been fond of German because I find it both helpful and beautiful. There are many German companies located in my country, so having this language would be quite good for my career. Ekaterina, language is not best described as a skill. It's best described as a language and not your career, because I'm not living there and it's not my career. It's your career. So my career. Okay, stay away from you and your. Begzad says, whenever I have the chance to learn other languages, I would definitely Okay, here it's an unreal condition, Bagzod, so you need to go with if. If I have a chance to learn another language, I would definitely master French, as this gives me great opportunities to study for my PhD, especially in Eastern Canada. Okay, good. Gurkarat says, if I get the chance to learn a new language, I would choose ancient Punjabi used in Sikh holy books, Guru Granth Sahib, so I can understand these precious books easily. Okay. Hung says, if I have the chance, I would like to learn Spanish because Mandarin is my native language and I'm working hard on English as well. If I could learn Spanish, I could speak to 90% of the people in the world. Hung, you are absolutely right. Spanish, English, and Mandarin, if you can speak those three languages, you can pretty much talk to just about anyone. Okay, absolutely. Alvina says, if I had the chance to learn another language, it would be French. For example, I've been in Paris and I was obsessed by the French culture. I would love to communicate with the native French people. Very good, Alvina. A little bit of grammar correction, but otherwise very, very good. Hushnamo says, if I have such an opportunity to learn more than one language, it would be French because I think it's not only one of the most beautiful languages of the world, but it is also good for my business. Hushnamo, very good use of the correlative conjunction, not only but also. I caught it, your examiner will catch it as well. Okay, Hung, I'm going to take your answer. If I had the chance to pick up another foreign tongue, it would be Mandarin because I already speak English and Spanish. Not true, my third language is Japanese, but let's imagine, because I already speak English and Spanish, and this way I could communicate with roughly 90% of the world's population. All right. So there it is, ladies and gents. Repeat after me. If you could learn another language, what would it be and why? If I had the chance to pick up another foreign tongue, it would be Mandarin because I already speak English and Spanish, and this way I could communicate with roughly 90% of the world's population, and certainly I could easily get a job just about anywhere in the world. All right, students, you have done a fantastic job, really outstanding. Everybody in the chat today, I tip my hat to you. You've done an incredible job, lots of fantastic responses. You're reflecting the grammar. Obviously, many of you are watching these lessons. You're using our software at aehelp.com, GIELTS help.com. For those of you that are not, do join us on our websites, either aehelp.com for academic or gieltshelp.com. Just go to the website, click those big red buttons, join. It's not expensive. It's a few dollars. Some of the best software in the world to teach you IELTS and communication. It's worth investing a little bit to get a lot. If you have questions, send me an email, Adrian, ADRIAN, at aehelp.com. Tomorrow, we continue IELTS live classes on this channel with Task 1 diagram for academic, for members, followed by Task 2 writing for everyone. You're welcome, Vivek. You're welcome, Bagzod. You're welcome, everybody else. Lena, Naji, Kulwant, Singh, Tina. Fantastic contributions today, students. All right, that's it for me for today. Have a fantastic rest of your day. If it's late in your country, get some good rest, some good sleep. Start today or tomorrow energized, ready to conquer yet another beautiful day on planet Earth. Bye for now, everyone. Much love to all of you.